We are now going to talk about my top 10 A-League signings of the season. And these aren't necessarily just the top 10 players in the league. These are players who came in and fulfilled a specific role for their club and did a fantastic job. Let's kick it off at number 10. We have Melbourne Victory striker Nick D'Agostino, who joined the club from Perth Glory. He picked up 10 goals in 26 appearances, as well as a couple crucial goals in the FFA Cup campaign, where Melbourne Victory, of course, picked up that trophy. A striker who has been involved in the A-League system for a while, started at Brisbane Roar, went over to Perth Glory, really stepped up, really matured at Melbourne Victory under the leadership of Tony Popovich. Ben GARUCCIO, Western United. Because I think this is a really smart little piece of business. John Aloisi comes into Western United. Ben GARUCCIO's chilling on the bench, recently crowned champions Melbourne City, takes Ben GARUCCIO over to the West and turns him into one of the best left backs in the competition. Ben GARUCCIO had a fantastic season. Of course, highlighting that fantastic season was that iconic Scorpion goal. Fantastic goal for Ben GARUCCIO. West United teammate is joining him in this list as well. In 8th place, I've got Neil Kilkenny, who was brought over from Perth Glory. I think when you look at what Western United built this season, I don't know if they could have achieved what they achieved if they didn't have the leadership and creative ability of Neil Kilkenny. I mean, he was the Andrea Pirlo of the league, if you like. Fantastic stuff. Neil Kilkenny really fulfilled a role there for Western United this past season. Coming into 7 is the first mid-season signing, Gail Sandoval at Wellington Phoenix. What an impact he had joining Wellington. Had a bit of a shaky start to the campaign, the Phoenix. You know, people were writing them off before this campaign. They needed creativity. They needed attacking players. They didn't replace Ulysses De Villa heading into the A-League season. They went to Mexican Gail Sandoval in January, and he scored 6 goals, 5 assists in just 20 games. It was a really decent impact for a player who had to make an instant impact. They brought him in mid-campaign, and I remember he scored on debut as well. He had a really solid impact for his Wellington side. 6th place on this list is Roderick Miranda from Melbourne Victory. You know, the former Wolverhampton centre-back came into the side and slotted in really, really well, and especially for the last couple months of the season, where Melbourne Victory just went on that incredible undefeated streak there at the end. Roderick Miranda was the key to that back line. He was so consistent and played with passion too. You could see him when he would play. He was really, really playing for the badge of the shirt there. You could tell that he loved his time at Melbourne Victory, but he was crucial for Victory this season. And number 5 is BEKA MIKELTADZE. What a season the Georgian had. BEKA MIKELTADZE came into that Jets side. Of course, they needed some new attackers after finishing second last the previous campaign. 13 goals, 3 assists in 24 appearances. Superb player, combined really well with his other attackers, and he's not the only Newcastle name that's going to be mentioned in this list. But at number 4, I've got another Wellington player, and this guy, I feel like maybe out of all the players on this list, probably flew under the radar. Scott Wootton at Wellington Phoenix. The other mid-season signing, I guess Gail Sandoval stole the spotlight because he was this, the high-profile sort of attacking signing. Scott Wootton tied up that defense and locked them down, and was a massive reason as to why Wellington played finals football in season 2021-22. The Englishman, I mean, look, he didn't have the most impressive CV. He'd been playing, I guess, in the lower divisions of England, but Scott Wootton came into the A-League, and again, just like Sandoval, settled in so quickly, helped steer that Wellington side into the top 6. Number 3 for me is Central Coast Mariners' Jason Cummings. I mean, he had to be on the list, right? 10 goals, 5 assists in just 21 games. What a return for Jason Cummings. Again, a player who arrived mid-season and made an instant impact. Had some really impressive performances, especially towards the end of the season. That F3 derby away to Newcastle Jets, where he grabbed a double, almost had a hat-trick. Time we come to the final 2, and if you follow the A-League closely this year, these top 2 won't be a surprise. And look, this might be contentious. You could probably put either of these in either spot. Number 2, Daniel PENHA from Newcastle Jets. 4 goals, 11 assists in 23 games. Daniel PENHA was simply electric. He was exactly the kind of signing that Jets needed. They were so dull, they were so poor towards the end of the previous season. They needed these attacking players to come in and perform, and Daniel PENHA absolutely did that. It was so dynamic and so exciting to watch. Every single week, we just spoke about Daniel PENHA. Everyone's eyes were on Daniel PENHA. It's a massive shame he didn't stick around the A-League, but what an incredible impact PENHA had, not just to Newcastle, but on the league. Number 1 for me has to be The Swiss giant Leo Lacroix from Western United, 3 goals, 1 assist from the centre-back. He chipped in here and there, but 27 matches, just so consistent and defensively so strong. Western United might not have won that championship if it wasn't for the defensive ability that Leo Lacroix possesses, was able to lead that defense. His partnership, whether it was alongside, it was chopping and changing. Nikolai Topos-Stanley was there. Tomoki Imai was there. But Leo Lacroix was, only missed a couple games throughout the entire season and was just so impressive. And it says a lot saying that Leo Lacroix, a central defender, is number 1 for me in the top 10 A-League signings of the season. Let me know who were some top signings for you that impressed from this past A-League season. Would love to hear them. Have a fantastic week, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.